to the Southern Champaign campus proposal. Here is the Fenerbahce Consultant Group representative. I was pleased to be assigned as the director of this unique project. Our project team will consist of myself and 5 more senior managers from different specialties and background. I will talk to you a little bit about the background of our company, which is since 2001 we have successfully accomplished over 30 projects, as we have been awarded with different quality certification that comply with ISO standards and other certification that can be considered as ISO. Most of our projects got either gold or platinum LEED certification. There are around 3,500 employees working in our project, inside and in office. We have potential training programs, and we intend all the time to hire students from the universities to let them gain the experience working in our project. When it comes to this project, it is actually about design and build, operate, proposal. So which is Fenerbahce Consulting Group trying to do is trying to design and build and operate the proposed infrastructure for a 20 years period post completion. The significant increase in the University of Illinois total population required a dramatic growth in the university facilities and services to be able to accommodate and serve the community. In the year of 2016, the total expected university population reached roughly 54,875 people. And in this project, our primary goal of this project is to provide a comprehensive redevelopment plan for the land south of the Universities of Illinois campus to transform it into a third city center created for mixed commercial, entertainment and residential use. The scope of the Southern Champaign campus development project will extend to the whole development process for the beginning unit until the final profit share, which will include responsibilities related to conceptual design and planning, proposal writing, permits and legal insurance, construction and building process, operating and maintenance and management of this development throughout all these phases. Fenerbahce Consultant Group have clear intention that the Unique Development Sustainable Project is going to be a major landmark in the Urbana-Champaign area and in the state of Illinois in general, which will increase the awareness of the challenges that the construction industry is facing today. In terms of revenues, we have added actually some effective element that would match the environmentals and atmospheres and increase the profits, such as like 3 floors remarkable national shopping center, event hall, water sport lake, like fish and release and families park. But when talking about the management plan, this is very important that to keep all stakeholders identified in order to get clear line of communication, bridge in between all of those stakeholders and inform distribution between all parties. Many ideas and concerns brought by the stakeholders must be considered and resolved during the design stage and throughout the length of the project in order to ensure the beneficial project for all parties involved. The stakeholders for the project include, but not limited to, the Universities of Illinois Board of Trustees, the student faculties and staff at the Universities of Illinois, the residents and the adjacent landowners of the Champaign and Urbana area, the city of Champaign, and the project team of Fenerbahce Consulting Group.
The main concept of the development project is to use this distinctive site in creating an attraction point for the whole Champaign County that can function also during the 4 seasons of the year A mixed-use project that considered the U of I student as well as local families and visitors from outside Champaign, providing them a wonderful whole-day experience. At the same time, respecting the privacy of the residential area and their daily service needs. Also, the project approach was to respect sustainability and environmental aspects, targeting a Platinum LEED certification. Therefore, to achieve this objective, the project is divided into three main areas: residential, natural, and activity area. The three parts was separated by design features that can be also considered as connection features. First, the promenade axis separates activity areas that contain alumni center and shopping center from the natural area that consists of the golf course and the family park. Also, the promenade will provide a walkable experience that connect the eastern and the western side of the project. Also, 4th Street allow the privacy needed for residential area that include service area for the daily needs. For sustainability consideration, we included many features that increase the site sustainability. For example, the photo cell that is mounted on every building rooftop. Also, we used the building integrated photovoltaics in large facades such as shopping mall and extended accommodation hotel. We used these renewable energy system along with other energy efficiency techniques such as daylighting and energy saving fixtures. Also, the outdoor furniture will be designed and made from recycled material that is derived mainly from the construction debris. Also, the water feature in the project will decrease the environmental impact, as well as the limited car accessibility in the project and the easy access to the public transportation.
One of the most important factors which determines the success of any project is whether it is completed on time or not. Considering the weather conditions of Champaign, we have to carefully plan our schedule accordingly. We divided our project into two phases. First phase is of 2 years, which starts from April 2016 and ends in March 2018. The second phase starts from April 2018 and ends in March 2019. First of all, the shopping center, as it's a very large project and it will take all the 3 years to complete, so it will start in the first phase and it will continue in the second phase also and end at the end of the second phase. The commercial strip, we will plan it in the first phase. We'll start it when our project starts in April 2016 and we will end it till March 2017, so that the revenue is started generating from the commercial strip. The plazas would be worked on in both the phases. They will start in April 2017 and in the winter, as we cannot place the concrete in winters, that's why the construction would resume in summer 2018. The housing will also start in the first phase and it will take around 17 months to complete the housing, so it would be done till August 2017. The alumni center, as it is not generating any revenue, we will plan it in the last phase and it will take around 11 months to complete the alumni center. The stay hotel, as it will start generating revenue, that's why we planned it early and it will be done in 10 months of the first phase of our project. The golf course, it will take 2 years to complete the golf course and therefore and it will start generating revenue after in the summer season. That's why we planned it in the first phase and it will be done till March 2018 and then it will start generating revenue. One of the most important part of every project is the commercial area. The commercial area of our project is divided into 3 parts. First of all, the shopping center, the retail outlets and the plazas. Speaking first about the shopping center, it's a huge shopping center with 650,000 square feet of area. Attached to that shopping complex is a parking plaza which is 4 floors and is 75,000 square foot. The stories of our shopping centers are 3. We assume that the contractor fees would be 25% and the architecture fees would be 7%. The expected revenue to be generated from this shopping center would be around 46 million. As the shopping center is very huge, the startup cost of this mall would be around $260 million and the cost of the parking plaza would be around $4.5 million. The operating cost per year would be $3 million, which leaves the revenue to be around $46 million, which would be done from leasing out the shops for rent. Now, secondly, talking about the plazas, there are two plazas. One is a larger plaza, the Promenade Plaza, which is 300,000 square feet, and it has a capacity of 8,000 people. Brick paving would be used to make that plaza. The second plaza is Skateboard Plaza, which is 200,000 square feet, and the capacity is 5,000. And in that one, we will use concrete paving. The paving cost for the larger plaza would be $9.45, and the smaller plaza would be $10.25. Additional cost in the larger plaza would be around $25,000 to install the fountains and all the additional beauties. The additional cost in the skateboard plaza would be more. It would be around $200,000 because of the skateboard track which we would have to install, and the benches for people to sit, and some fountains. So the total cost of the plazas would be around $5 million. The revenue generated from these plaza would be from renting out these for commercial events. The rent of the larger plaza would be $15,000, and the smaller plaza would be $10,000. We assume that there would be at least 12 events per year in each plaza, which makes out the revenue to be around $612,000. Last but not the least, we'll talk about the commercial strip. The commercial strip, we have two types of outlets in the commercial strip. First is the restaurants, and the second is the retail outlets. The area of the restaurants is 40,000 square feet. We have divided the size of restaurant into two sizes. One would be larger restaurants, which would be around 9,000 square feet, and the smaller restaurants, which would be around 5,000 square feet. The construction cost of the restaurants would be higher because of the expensive interior as compared to the retail outlets. The retail outlet square feet area is around 80,000 square feet, and they are divided into three different sizes: small, medium, and large, according to the usage. The construction cost would be less because they are not that expensive to construct. The cost per square foot for the retail stores would be $97.1, and the restaurants would be around $199.5. The total cost of building the whole commercial strip would be around $15.75 million. The revenue generated would be according to the rent per square foot. The rent per square foot for the retail stores would be $18, and for the restaurant would be $25, which will make the total revenue to be $2.4 million.
For the Southern Champaign Campus Development Plan, I'll be discussing the construction and operation of Catapult Golf Complex. It will be an 18-hole golf course, 6,300 yards, par 70, consists of an assortment of par 3s, par 4s, and par 5s, and will also be complete with water hazards, sand bunkers, and tee boxes. In addition to the golf course, there will be a 9.5-acre driving range and also a clubhouse. The clubhouse will consist of both a bar and grill and also a pro shop where they will sell random merchandise, golf equipment, and apparel. To determine the expenses, revenue, and ultimately the worth of the golf complex, we had to examine each item and then divide it into components. So first off, we have the expenses, which is basically the construction costs and the operation and maintenance costs that are applied each year. The construction costs consist of several components. So first we have the hard construction costs, which is basically the cost needed to construct the actual golf course. And then we have the soft construction costs, which are the fees for the permit, the fees for the golf architect, and the contingency plan that we've laid in place for the project. Finally, we have the building equipment costs. All together, these construction costs total to be $5.06 million. After considering the construction costs, we then have to consider the cost needed to operate and maintain the course year in and year out. This is given with the O&M costs. O&M costs total to be $560K per year. The main sources of revenue are the equipment rentals, the purchase of range balls for the driving range, the green fees, and then the merchandise, apparel, and equipment sold at the clubhouse. To determine the revenue generated from each of these sources, we have to assume that all these are a function of the amount of visitors we get per year. To determine this, we had to find the market size of the golf course, and this was formed based on several assumptions. Then we had to consider the popularity of golf. The US average is about 8%, so 8 out of every 100 residents are assumed to play golf. And then we also have to consider the amount or the golf courses nearby and how they will also get service. So we assumed that Catapult Golf Course will take up about 1/3 of all the provided services in the area. After computing the revenue from the green fees and the equipment rentals and the range balls, we then considered the money generated from selling apparel, merchandise, and concessions at the clubhouse. We just made a general assumption that this would be about 30% of all the total revenue. This gives us a total golf revenue of $1.1 million for the course. Subtracting the expenses from the revenue each year, we get an approximate profit of $540.
The housing for the Southern Champaign campus complex includes both undergraduate and graduate housing. And the undergraduate housing units are located in the southeast corner of the complex to keep the housing away from the crowd and the noise, but at the same time to keep the housing close enough to the shopping center. Whereas the graduate housing units are located just north of the undergraduate housing units. Undergraduate housing is a 3-story low-rise building. It includes 800 undergraduate students. They all have their single unit apartments, and a graduate housing is a 4-story mid-rise building, and we have 90 units of single housing and 150 units of family housing. So we have 540 residents in total. The construction costs for the undergraduate student housing is $39.8 million, and graduate student housing is $27.9 million, and the expenses per year are calculated based on the operational and management costs, and the revenue per year is calculated based on the University of Illinois housing website, and the numbers for both undergrad and graduate housing tuitions are used in the calculations. And the net present value is calculated for 20 years lease period, and it comes out to be $130.5 million. A 6,750 square feet daycare center is located in the shopping mall complex, and it includes a room for 60 infants and 100 toddlers, and we are planning to have 4 infant rooms and 6 toddler rooms. So the assumptions are following. 1 staff member is required for each 6 infants, and the tuition for these infants are $236 per week. And for the toddlers, we require 1 staff member for each 10 toddlers, and the tuition for these toddlers are $205 per week. Daycare center financial summary is based on a 70% capacity, and the construction costs are already included in the shopping mall construction costs, and the expenses per year includes the food and the staff members expenses, and the revenues are based on an example child daycare center in Champaign, and the net present value is calculated for 20 years lease period, and it comes out to be $14.4 million.
As part of our proposal, there is a 20,000 square feet alumni center, which will have 2 conference rooms, one with 350 people capacity, the other with 200 people capacity. There will also be 2 big lecture halls, which will have 100 people capacity each, 4 small lecture halls with 50 people capacity each, and this will be the second alumni center in Champaign. Now we'll present the financial summary for the alumni center. The total construction cost for the alumni centers were around $3.8 million. The expenses per year that we calculated were $150,000. The revenue per year was a little over $1.1 million, and the profit per year was $972,000. And finally, the net present value of the alumni center was around $10.6 million. The Alumni Center will consist of two 12 feet high stories. The rental rates for the bigger conference room will be $5,500 a day. For the smaller conference room, it will be $3,200 a day. For the bigger lecture halls, it will be $300 a day, and for the smaller lecture halls, it will be $150 per day. The assumed occupancy rates will be 25% for conference rooms A and B, and 75% for lecture halls A and B. And the inflation and interest rates will be 2.65% and 1.6% respectively. The proposed extended stay hotel will have an area of around 25,000 square feet, and it will be 4-story high and will have 150 guest rooms, which means about 38 rooms per floor. The assumed construction fee for the extended stay hotel was 25%. As for the architectural fee, it was 7%. The rental rates for the different rooms that we did research on was $85 per day for a king bedside studio suite, $80 per day for a queen bed studio suite, and $90 per day for two full-size bed studio suite. So the average rental rate was $85 per day. The usage rates that we estimated was 78%. Extended stay facilities usually get around 90% of the revenue from the rooms because they don't have so many amenities. And the operating profit that we assumed was 34% of total revenue based on the Extended Stay America Inc. Now we'll present the financial summary of the Extended Stay Hotel. The total construction cost was around $5.8 million. The expenses per year we calculated was around $2.6 million. The revenue per year we got was slightly over $4 million. Therefore, we got a profit of around $1.3 million. Finally, we got a net present value after 20 years of $12.4 million. The profit sharing scheme will be based on the contribution of each party into the capital of the development. The developer contributions are cost of